Today is challenge day, and I have 5 easy DIYs for you. Today is Just Our Imagination, hosted by Kathy Jo at Kathy Jo's DIYs and Brenda at Rustic and Lace DIYs, co-hosted by Sweet Tea and Butterflies. Challenge items this month are a K-cup, balloon, and sponge roller. Project number 1, I'm using a balloon. I'm using this white balloon. I'm not sure of the size. It's one of the larger ones. And then I'm adding in one of those glass bowl fillers, which are flat on the bottom. And I'm making sure that the rounded part is going towards the bottom of the balloon or the top of the balloon. And then I'm putting a rubber band around the glass marble. Now I'm going to change the balloon and turn it inside out so that the glass marble is actually flat on the bottom, and it's going to be facing this way so that it will supposedly stand up. I did tie a knot in the balloon. It sits a little crooked, but that's okay. Now I'm going to be taking this plastic plate and this can outside and these buttons, and I'm going to give them all a coat of black spray paint. Now I'm taking my heat tool. You could also probably use a glue gun for this, just to melt a little hole in the top of that plate so that it will sit on top of my balloon. Now I'm going to use some hot glue and glue a can around the hole. Be sure and melt this plastic in a good ventilated area. Because my marble trick didn't work perfectly because I didn't get it exactly in the center, I did add this wood ring with some Titebond so that it would hopefully sit a little more flat. Now I'm going to be using that Titebond to glue on the larger buttons for my snowman's eyes, and also off camera I did use Titebond to glue the hat on the snowman's head. I'm also going to go ahead and glue on the mouth, and then I did spray paint 2 buttons for his carrot nose. Now I'm going to add a strip of flannel pajamas, and I'm going to glue that on as his scarf. I did also add a large black button just to finish off the scarf. Here's a look at our friendly little snowman. This certainly wouldn't be a long-term decoration for Christmas, but he is cute for the time being. This project, I'm going to be using a K-cup and a balloon. First, I painted the K-cup with 2 or 3 coats of Waverly chalk paint in crimson. I did paint the rim of the cup as well. For this next part, I really wanted to use an ornament, but I just didn't have one the right size. They were either too small or too large. So I'm going with this ping pong ball, which I had previously put on this dowel rod, and I'm covering it with a balloon. And this is kind of a brownish color that I got from Dollar Tree in a pack. And then I'm using some wire to wire around that dowel rod to hold that balloon. Hot glued in some styrofoam in the bottom of the K-cup so that I could trim off the dowel rod with the ping pong ball and get it to fit down in there without sinking too far down. This fits okay, but I can still see down into the cup a little bit more than I wanted to, so I made a little skirt for it, and I just hot glued that around the ping pong ball. Have you seen these cute little paper bags from Dollar Tree? I love them because this could be used for so many different projects. I cut out one of the little squares on the front and I glued that to the front of my cup with a glue stick. And if you haven't figured it out already, we are making a little mini cup of coffee or hot chocolate or gingerbread latte, whatever you want to call it. I'm going to use some of this puffy paint to add my whipped cream to the top. The puff paint is still wet. I am adding on some of these Christmas sprinkles from Hobby Lobby. They are usually in the jewelry section. And then I'm also going to be adding in some polymer clay sprinkles that I made myself. I had one of these skinny coffee stirrer straw things and thought I would cut it down and see if I could get it to stay on as a straw. Did add a little bit more puffy paint underneath the straw just to give it a little more support. I'm going to keep you in suspense for the next few items for the final reveal because they all go together well. And now for the sponge roller. I'm actually going to be using two different ones today. This is one of the long skinny ones and I took it outside and gave it a coat of clear spray paint so that maybe the chalk paint would hold a little bit better. I would recommend just spray painting this white to begin with. It would be much easier. And then I'm using some of this kind of candy cane striped ribbon from Dollar Tree and I'm just going to hot glue that onto the sponge roller to make a peppermint stick. Now I'm going to use one of these sponge rollers and I'm just removing the plastic part in the middle and I'm going to give this a couple of coats of crimson chalk paint. Once it's dry, again, I'm adding some of this red and green striped ribbon from Dollar Tree to make a candy look. This candy will be in a wrapper, so I'm using one of these cellophane bags and I'm going to cut it to size and then roll the candy up and seal the edges. Now we're back to the K-cups. This time I'm going to be using 3 of them and a couple of wood rounds. I'm going to be using my tight bond to glue these K-cups together. Gluing one on top of the other as shown like this, and I'm going to add that third one on top of it. This little wood round is off one of the bottle brush trees, and I'm going to be gluing the K-cups to the wood round. I'm going to set it aside and let it dry. Those have had time to dry a little bit. I'm going to be using this wood round from Dollar Tree, I believe, and I'm going to glue the K-cup stack on top of it. Once the glue was dry, I took it outside and I gave it a coat of a cream-colored spray paint. Once I brought it back inside, I dry brushed the entire piece with Waverly chalk paint and mineral. Last project, I'm going to be using some Model Magic in white and red. I'm going to go ahead and kind of condition the clay by working it between my hands and just kneading it back and forth. And then I'm going to take a ball of each of the colors and roll it out into long snakes. I'm going to kind of mash them together and then I'm going to turn them in opposite directions so that I can make a spiral. Once I get that the way I want it, I'm going to go ahead and just roll it out so it looks like a peppermint stick. Then I'm going to be cutting it into 3 sections, and I'm going to bend it to make candy canes. Off camera, I did use some Mod Podge on top and sprinkled a little bit of glitter on top, and I let them dry overnight. And here is the reveal of all of these sweet treats. I think this would be a nice addition to any Christmas decor, or especially a Christmas coffee bar. And of course, don't forget about our little snowman. Hope you've enjoyed these challenges today. I sure thank the ladies for hosting today. Be sure and check out the description box below for their channels along with the playlist, and see what everyone else came up with these challenge items. Thanks so much for watching. Remember to share the chic, hit that subscribe button, that thumbs up button, and that notification bell. Bye now.